good, Grind Schoolers? It's your boy Robin. We back in the shop today. So today, man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig into the Impala. I've already washed the motor off and stuff like that, degreased it, did all that stuff that I needed to do in order to clean it. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go back in and go ahead and try to redo the seal for the Optispark. I'm pretty sure that's probably where it's leaking from. I'm gonna go in there and change the seal for that, change the seal for the water pump and all that. I know it's not leaking like coolant or anything, but I'm gonna change those seals, gaskets, whatever. It sucks because I'm gonna have to take the water pump back off for a third time. I'm gonna have to take the Optispark back off for a third time. It's not too big of a job. It's not that hectic, but man, I really don't feel like doing it. But you know, in order to fix this leak, that's what we got to do. Unfortunately, hopefully third time's a charm and we get it done. So anyways, man, before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video, man. Let's get to 3K, man. I'll definitely greatly appreciate that. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get started. All right, y'all. So, man, there's so much that still needs to be done. But I'm not gonna focus on that, man. I'm gonna just focus on trying to get this oil leak finished up, fixed, everything like that. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take home plate off. I'm gonna take all this off. Probably disconnect the hoses, let it drain out into the drain pan. And then I'll probably start working on getting the water pump off, get the harmonic balancer off, and getting the belt off and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see how far we get, man. I might not be able to get this all the way done today, but we're just, like I said, we're just gonna see how far we get. And yeah, this really sucks, man. I really don't want to do this again, but you know, it is what it is, man. It's just how it goes, I guess. But let me go ahead and dig in here and get this done, and then we'll go from there. All right, y'all, so I found a super easy and effective way to kind of drain the coolant out of the water pump without making a huge mess. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna get a huge mess, but I'm seeming to get a lot of coolant out of this lower hose. And this is kind of like lower or like in line with the Optispark. I'm not trying to get my Optispark like wet, you know what I'm saying, because it's brand new or whatever. So I disconnected the lower hose on the water pump, and I disconnected this hose, and pretty much what I'm doing is I'm just squeezing this hose and just putting pressure on it just to kind of drain as much coolant out as possible. So when I pull this hose off, it don't just splash everywhere, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm getting a whole lot of coolant out just by holding it like this. Like I said, I'm not trying to get coolant on the Optispark. I mean, you're gonna have drainage everywhere anyway, but this seems to be a lot easier. And yeah, I could, you know what I'm saying, hit that drain plug on the radiator and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying, like I ain't trying to get down all up in there trying to get the wrench or however I gotta do it, because I'm sure it's super duper tight wherever it's at. I don't even know where the drain plug is on here, but whatever, man. I don't really hardly ever, you know what I'm saying, use the drain plug unless I'm like just changing the coolant or something like that. Since I'm taking all these hoses out, that's how I'm doing it. So we're gonna keep on rocking, man, how we rock, and then I'll start getting this water pump pulled off. I already got the bolts loosened up down there on the balancer. I already took the belt off, so I mean, we pretty much there, man. Once I take the bolts off of the water pump, we should be there. So let me keep working, man, and then we'll be done in a hot second. Or not done, but we'll be able to take everything off in a hot second. Voila, there you have it, without making a huge mess. I put my lower coolant hose and I just drained it down in the pan. You could tell I didn't have a huge mess because there's no coolant all over the water pump. So if you're doing this job, man, I highly suggest that, you know what I'm saying, you unhook this lower hose to that lower little coolant line, and then unhook these two, or at least, you know what I'm saying, get the clamps down, and then just squeeze them until that one drains out enough to where you're comfortable just pulling it out. Like I said, I don't have a huge mess, it didn't come off and explode on me and get all over the water pump. Like I said, I don't want a lot of fluid going down into my Optispark and messing it up. Then I'll have to be buying a new one. So that's done, man. I got 6 bolts on the water pump, and then I'll pull that right out. I got that cooling line too right there, but you know what I'm saying, like I said, the balancer's already off, or loosened up. The bolts are already loosened up. I just got to pull it off, and then just got to unbolt the water pump. We good, man. So we almost there. Not too difficult of a task or a chore, man. I've probably been out here for probably about 10 minutes just unhooking stuff. And yeah, I mean, I might even leave. Nah, never mind. But anyways, like I said, been out here for probably about 10 minutes just knocking this out. I really literally only have 6 bolts on the water pump. And then, yeah, man, the Opti will pull right out of there. We'll get that seal replaced. Get a new one in there for the top and the bottom. The bottom seal where the harmonic balancer is, I don't have to replace that because it was leaking higher than that. In my last video, when I showed you guys that the car was too low and I was trying to determine where the leak was coming from, it's coming higher than where the front seal is for the main, or the timing cover seal for where the crankshaft is at. So I'm assuming it's coming from the distributor where that little seal is, because I didn't replace that. I just went ahead and, you know, took the old one off, put a new one on, and, you know, there she went. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that, replace the one that go around the water pump, or where the water pump goes. And then, yeah, man, we'll have to replace the water pump seals. That sucks that I got to do that again, but we'll seal it all up real good. And then yeah, man, his job will be done. I've been trying to do this all weekend, but you know, just ain't had the time. So I'm knocking it out now because it's decent out here. And yeah, so let me go ahead and keep working. I'll get this all the water pump pulled off, and then, you know, we'll go from there. All right, y'all, so I got everything all off. I don't think there should be oil in that seal like that, so I think that's the culprit. And then I have some RTV right there. So you know what I'm saying, my mistake when I did this, I put RTV on here because I felt like there was a gasket that went right here, but you know what I'm saying, I guess not. So I got to clean up all that RTV, and then it should be good to go. And that's probably could be causing a little bit of an issue as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all this RTV. I'm gonna pull that seal out of there. I'm also replacing one at the water pump too, because it looks a little gunky too. But I'm gonna replace both of them, and then I'll go ahead and snap everything back together. And then I also, this is a different type of, like, I don't know, I think these LT ones are different than like the Camaros and the Pontiacs and stuff like that. But I think this little notch here has to line up with the notch coming out of the camshaft. So I think that's how it goes, but we about to find out. Yeah, because mine don't have notches like everything that I've seen. So, but yeah, let me go ahead and pull this seal out, and then we'll pull that one out, and then we'll replace them. All right, y'all, so to get this seal out, there's like a little square port right here. I just hammered the screwdriver through the seal and, you know, wiggled it loose real quick. So I'm trying to be careful not to damage nothing, but first seal is out. Now we just gotta pull this one out. I thought I had some seal pullers, like the things with the little hooks that I could just pull out, but it's not seeming like I do. So, or I can't find them. But anyways, man, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. I probably need to replace that and that ignition coil and the ignition control module. Probably replace both of those next. You know what I'm saying? Everything under here looks good though, y'all. Looks real good. I should probably spray that too, but whatever. Anyways, man, let me go ahead and get back to this. Perfect. I think I'm almost like 100% sure this is my culprit, man. This little rubber gasket on the inside, it was like really easy to, like, it just detached from the seal. And this one's not like that. That one's attached, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't pull it off. So, and this one's all like hard and stuff like that. And you can tell like all the oil is down up in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all the surface and everything. And then I'll go ahead and smack this in there, smack the other one in there. We done, baby. Hopefully I have no more leak issues. I'm probably gonna go ahead and spray some brake clean down up in there, clean that up a little bit. My water pump gasket surfaces are already clean. I'm gonna scrape them a little bit and then put the new gasket on. Even though these are new gaskets, I'm gonna just go ahead and, you know, use the new ones that I got, because I guess it just makes more sense to do it that way. So we're gonna go ahead and clean all this up, and then I can start putting everything back together, man. And hopefully that is 100% my issue, and I have no more leak issues like that. So let's go ahead and start getting everything back the way it was. All right, y'all, so there's plenty of videos explaining how to do this, but unfortunately I don't have the tool, and I don't have a highlighter, the type that you need to put this on there. But I found that this works. Pretty much all I did was, because you can't damage this orange gasket or the black gasket on the inside, and also this has to go on a certain way. So the orange should be facing on the outside, the black should be facing on the inside, the little gasket, if it focuses. Pretty much all I did was kind of stretch the orange gasket out a little bit so that the lip was outside of the this little pin that comes out of the water pump. And I just kind of slowly rolled the gasket or the seal around this little black thing. So that's how I got it on. It seemed to have worked. So we're gonna go ahead and install this onto the little shaft there, and then we should be good to go, man. We can start tidying everything back up, starting to you know, plug everything back in, and hope that we don't have any more leaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this seal in. Also too, you use a 13/16, I believe is what it is, to tap around it, which is the perfect size to tap around this to get it on there. So I'm gonna do it by hand, try to get it on that shaft by hand so I don't damage it by tapping it and not, you know, being able to see where it's at. And then once I get it onto that little lip down there, I'm gonna go ahead and start tapping it with my 13/16. So almost done. Looks like I won't have to really do anything to my water pump gaskets. Doesn't look like I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, like scrape them off or anything, because like I said, they were new gaskets. But yeah, let me go ahead and get this seal in there, knock it in, and then we can just start buttoning everything back up. So like I said, all I did was use a 13/16 to go ahead and tap that seal in. Works perfectly fine to go over the end of this. So pretty much all I did was put this on, slide the seal on there till it stopped, and then went ahead and smacked the seal in there with the 13/16. Worked just fine. Now I could go ahead and put my Opti back on. Gotta line that little notch up with the little notch on the camshaft, and then start buttoning it all up, buttoning it all down. Throw my water pump back on there, hook up all the hoses, put my belt on, the harmonic balancer. We good to go, man. And hopefully, like I said, no more leaks. Trying to get my Impala ready, so let's get it. All right, y'all, moment of truth. We got everything back together. We got the belt on. We got the harmonic balancer torqued down. We got the water pump torqued down. All the hoses connected. So I'm about to go ahead and start the car and, you know, check for these leaks. So I'll start the car, I'll pull it out, and then I'll let it run for a second, look under it, and make sure that we don't got none of that. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, and then yeah, go from there. All right, y'all, so far so good. The car is really purring, actually. It's purring really good, man. I'm not seeing no leaks up under there, so I think we're good, man. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. I'm not gonna let it run like crazy, because I don't know how much coolant is in here. I'm definitely going to continue to let it run, make sure it doesn't leak, because before it was like leaking right away. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this was like 2 minutes. But we got right, y'all. No leaks in the driveway. I let it run for probably about 5 minutes. No leaks in the driveway. Looks like that was the issue. Had a Opti seal, distributor seal, whatever you want to call it. Guess that was the issue. So, you know what I'm saying? Look like we good to go. Yeah, so on to the next, man. Next thing is these tubulars. Once it starts warming up, I'll knock that out so I can get that all cleaned up and all good to go. But for the most part, like I said, everything's good. No water pump leaks, no oil leaks. Yeah, she was purring. So yeah, man, that wraps this job up. It really doesn't take that long to do the Optispark. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people complain about it, but it doesn't take that long. It's not that difficult, nothing like that. The hardest part is probably scraping the gaskets. But other than that, man, it's not hard at all to get that Opti taken care of. But obviously, you know what I'm saying, this ain't my first rodeo. I've done it a few times. And realistically, you know what I'm saying, like, if I was out here when I told y'all, this is a few days later, obviously, but I told y'all I was out here for about 10 minutes. I had everything disassembled. It took me a couple days to try to figure out that seal situation over the water pump shaft. But once I figured that out, man, it's just plugging everything back in. I could have done this in probably about a half an hour if everything was right, everything was solid. But, you know, probably about an hour, I'll say an hour. Not too long. But anyways, man, that's all done. Like I said, moving on to the next thing. All right, grind schoolers, that's going to do it for this video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, you know what I'm saying, that's my third time doing the Optispark. Not necessarily changing it. The first time I changed out the regular one, when I did the I changed the distributor cap and rotor or whatever on my old distributor, when I changed out all the wires and all that good stuff. And then that was like kind of like the car was running horribly. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the car was running real bad like a year ago. I did this job almost exactly a year ago. Car was running real bad, so that's why I started focusing 100% on the Elco, getting the Elco all ready to go, and you know what I'm saying, taking care of and stuff like that. And then I did it again, and you know, everything was fine, dandy and stuff like that, but I didn't notice that the seal was all messed up. So, you know what I'm saying, third time going in, knocking it out. It doesn't take too long, like I said. It took me longer than anticipated because I couldn't get that seal that, excuse me, where the water pump goes. I couldn't get it on that little bullet thing until I figured out how to kind of stretch it out a little bit. And then, you know what I'm saying, like you could tell like the seal was terrible behind the distributor. Like the little rubber piece that's supposed to go on the distributor, wrap around it or whatever, was completely detached from the seal. So that's why I was leaking oil super bad. But now we all code full, no more leaks. And yeah, now we can move on to the next thing, man. So, you know, stay locked in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video, man. I always appreciate all the love, all the support. Yeah, so we just gonna keep on rocking on this Impala to get it onto the streets. Clean it up, do whatever we gotta do to make it presentable. And then, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be what we rock with in the summer. So, as far as the Elco goes, you know what I'm saying, this one probably won't even be out this summer. Like I said, I'm completely tearing it down and doing whatever I gotta do to make it an A1 vehicle, you know what I'm saying, like they supposed to be. But anyways, man, like I said, man, I always appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. But I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video because I know it's probably long already. But yeah, I didn't want to bore y'all too much, but I did think that I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, throw up a video because I was doing something on the car that is gonna help prevent the car from leaking like you guys saw in the previous video. So anyways, yeah, like I said, man, I guess that's gonna do it, man. Always remember, work hard so you live free.